Hello, everybody. I recently got back from watching Joker 2, so I'd like to do a quick little review on that movie and some commentary in regards to the internet dialogue that's been going on. This movie was very different from the first one, where the first movie was a bit more of a psychological horror thriller type drama. This movie is sort of a musical combined with a courtroom drama, in a sense, with a lot of experimental elements layered on top of each other. It was supposed to be like the incel franchise, but this movie is actually very couples oriented. Most of the people in the cinema were couples who went on dates, not a lot of single men, as I remember from some of the hype around the first movie, where they were talking about like the incel army showing up, like all of the people coming to the theater with Joker makeup and automatic weapons in their backpacks and so on. That was just completely gone now. I thought the movie was generally like an interesting experience to watch. Too long, as I think many of the movies coming out on cinema have been this year, and a little bit too experimental for my taste. Not in a good way. Honestly, I felt like it was seemed a little bit messy at times. So a combination of being a bit messy and boring while at the same time being interesting. And it is interesting for me to watch movies when I come in with a certain expectation that is shaped by the dialogue on the internet. So that's what I thought would be interesting to have a little bit of a discussion around. I'm just going to bring up this tweet here where you could see some of the reactions that people are giving this movie, and I feel like this movie sort of summarizes the original audience reaction to it. So this is Daddy Warpig saying, quote, Joker 2 is apparently one long humiliation ritual for the character from the Joker, demeaning and destroying him so that everybody who liked him or admired or even a little bit identified with the character can be humiliated by proxy. Because Hollywood hates you. End quote. Okay. Uh, yeah. You see a lot of this stuff, which I found interesting for multiple reasons. There are people who were trying to categorize this movie as like a woke film, where the framing is that Hollywood hates you in a sense. Like these are the liberal Hollywood elites that are creating these movies to rub it in the face of the chuds, as usual. Uh, but there are a couple of problems with this narrative. I mean, we could look at the Rotten Tomatoes, for example, where you see that tomato score here. Actually, the audience seems to slightly favor this movie more than the critics. So this is not like a movie like Moonlight or Black Panther or something like the female Ghostbusters or something where like they made this movie to be feminist or like sort of BIPOC show. It's nothing like that at all. In fact, the movie has little or no sort of LGBTQ in the positive sense. There's been no race swapping going on. There's no kind of soapbox lecturing about racism. There's no kind of like anti-male triads and no sort of standard of the woke preaching. The movie even includes a lot of things that you think had been removed by the politically correct censorship complex, like smoking, for example. This movie has an incredible amount of cigarette smoking in it. Almost, it's almost comical. Like this was a movie from the '60s or '70s where they're doing smoking ads in it, which is a bit of a change up from the 2010s when Disney sort of proudly announced that all of their movies would be smoke free, and that's why like in the Avengers and a lot of those blockbuster superhero movies, there are no characters smoking ever, because it's a very deliberate sort of socially conscious choice. Whereas this movie avoids doing more of the socially conscious, what you'd consider like the DIE type political correctness. So if we can rule out that this movie was not the kind of like critics against the audience movie, and it's not a sort of standard woke diversity, equity, inclusion film, what exactly bothered these people so much about this film? And so they go with the humiliation angle and say like they feel like, okay, this character Arthur Fleck was being ritually humiliated in the film, which to a certain extent, this happens, but this also happens in Joker 1, maybe to an even larger degree. A lot of Joker 1 is just watching this character, Arthur Fleck, being ritually humiliated at his job, by his mother, by his therapist, and so on, and then sort of acting out like this kind of grand revenge scheme, where all the people sort of gather around him after he shoots the host of that talk show. So that's the thing that happens in both movies. Joker 2 actually has a lot more pleasantries in store for Arthur Fleck, because he's in prison now, or in Arkham Asylum, as it's named after the Batman series. And in Arkham Asylum, he has become like a type of celebrity. He's like Charles Manson or somebody like that, who kills people, goes to prison, and they get love letters and fan mail constantly. Where that's kind of the role that he plays in this movie. The Lady Gaga character, that's like the Harley Quinn, to his Joker, is like this sort of like actually a rich, obsessed woman that just kind of loves the Joker character, essentially, and wants to fangirl him around wherever he goes. So he has that, and he has like these sort of sycophantic Joker gang people who show up to the court to root for him. And there are also a sort of class of intellectuals in this movie who sympathize with him to a great extent. So again, I don't feel like the general idea that this is like a constant ritual humiliation fest holds up particularly well. So we have to look further as to, okay, what is bothering these people so much about this movie? And I think I figured it out. It is essentially the same thing that would bother people, and that is sort of the core to understanding a lot of alternative media personalities and the populist politicians in general. In that alt media personalities like Alex Jones can make mistakes, but they can never admit mistakes. And Alex Jones will forever be able to continue to be Alex Jones and have his fans as long as he never admits to lying. He can lie, he can make up as much nonsense as he wants and be a total clown, but as soon as he breaks the kayfabe and admits that he made a mistake or did something stupid, then it's over for him, right? It's like your father telling you that he's Santa Claus, then it's basically over, and that's essentially what happens in this film. This Arthur Fleck character, who is played as like a genuine kind of low IQ, low impulse control character, that's very much opposed to these other Joker characters in slightly like the Heath Ledger movie or the Tim Burton movies, where he's like this Joker genius character. He's actually, in this movie, he's just really dumb. The same with the first one, and also like dumb in a realistic way, just based on my own experience with like working with people who are handicapped and have various issues. He is going to go through a trial to answer for the crimes of what he did in the first movie. And on the one hand, he has the fans, like the hardcore Joker fans who are showing up to support him in court. And they believe in the Joker as like this anti-establishment icon, and they want to support him no matter what. They even show up at the end of the movie to break him out of court, right? Where they try to pull him out. They blow up the wall and try to put him in the car and run him away and make him like this leader of the Joker cult, but he doesn't want to do it. Right? And he's also assigned a lawyer, and he has like this complex of lawyers and psychiatrists who are making up theories about how the Joker personality and the Arthur Fleck personality are two split personalities in a sense. So that he should be able to go free because it was actually the Joker who perpetuated the crimes and not Arthur Fleck. So Arthur Fleck is innocent. It is the split personality that is real, which is it's coming from a different angle than the Joker gang sycophants, but it's in a sense it's leaning into the same sentiment that they want him to play the Joker character. They believe like the Joker character that they've created is real. It's not just a low IQ, sort of low impulse control individual that's done this. It's like an entirely owned character. And like these people made me think about like Eric Weinstein, for example, if you sit and listen to Eric Weinstein or Brett Weinstein on Joe Rogan sitting and explaining, like using spreadsheets to explain why Donald Trump's tweets are actually 5D chess plays, for example, it was a bit of the same feeling where it's like they sort of insist that, you know, there's actually a 5D genius thing behind what's going on here, behind like there's a character that's being played. You're not just watching a person with impulse control. There's actually like very complex stuff going on behind it. And the Arthur Fleck character eventually refuses to play along with this and says that he wants to defend himself in court. And in the beginning, he really leans into this Joker persona and wants to sit in court with makeup on, like the photo here. So he's just running around doing his Joker bits, and the Joker fans love it. But eventually, he gives up. He just sort of sits there and he takes the judgment, and he doesn't even dispute anything. He just kind of accepts all the accusations, and he's ready to take to accept his judgment before he is broken out of prison, and he's eventually pulled back in. So after this happened, after he just sits there and says, no, it was just me the whole time, there was no kind of like Joker 5D chess super extra personality there, it was just me being impulsive and doing these things, and you know, maybe I was wrong. That will not stand. That lost him the admiration of the Joker fans. It lost him his girlfriend. It lost him the support of the lawyer structures. And when he gets back into prison, or into the Arkham Asylum, he gets stabbed and replaced by a new Joker. In a sense, you know, a spoiler alert, of course, but that's what's happened. That happens in the end. Is that there's another character who's presumably a little bit smarter, a little bit more shrewd, that's going to replace him as the other Joker because he couldn't play that role that they wanted him to play. And that's why they're feeling betrayed, in a sense, because like their relationship to these alt media figures and to their politicians is just purely based on kayfabe. And these politicians staying in character, and people like Alex Jones staying in character. If they break character, they break themselves. So they are forever kind of locked into an audience capture where they can keep being wrong about everything they're saying, but they can never admit to being wrong. As soon as they take off the clown makeup and says that, you know, okay, I just messed up. I'm just a human being, then it's basically over for them. Right? And that's the reason that, you know, because that particular element was exposed in this movie, they feel like they're being exposed. So at least, yeah, that's my take on Joker 2 and why I think the original audience hated it.